Imagine reaching into a forgotten jar of spare change and pulling out a coin that could change your life forever. Not a lottery ticket, not a stock tip, not a nickel. Today we are uncovering the truth about the 1982 Jefferson nickel, a coin that most Americans have handled, a coin that millions ignored, and a coin that, under the right circumstances, can be worth staggering amounts of money. That if you are between 30 and 70 years old and you have ever saved old coins in drawers, jars, coffee cans, or safety deposit boxes, this story is for you. Because what you overlook today could cost you a fortune tomorrow. Stay with me. Because near the end of this video, I will show you exactly what separates a 5-cent coin from a potential multi-million-dollar treasure. Act 1. The coin everyone ignored. In 1982, America was in transition. Inflation had shaken the economy. The price of metals was fluctuating. The United States Mint was adjusting production standards. And quietly, in Denver, millions of Jefferson nickels were struck with the small but powerful D mint mark. The Jefferson nickel itself had been part of American history since 1938. It features President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his historic home, Monticello, on the reverse. The design, created by Felix Schlag, remained largely consistent for decades. And because of that consistency, most people assume all nickels are basically the same. That assumption is where fortunes are lost. The 1982 Jefferson nickel was produced at the Denver Mint during a period of production changes and quality control inconsistencies. Billions of coins passed through presses. But occasionally, something unusual happens to a die variety. That a striking anomaly, an off-metal error, an extreme high-grade specimen that survived untouched for decades. Now here is where things get serious. Most 1982 nickels in circulated condition are worth face value. 5 cents. Maybe 10 cents. But certain examples, under specific conditions, have commanded astonishing prices in the collector market. And before you click away thinking, I do not have one of those, ask yourself this question. Let me explain. The power of condition coin collecting is not just about age. It is about rarity plus condition plus demand. In 1982, over 563 million Jefferson nickels were struck in Denver. That sounds like an overwhelming number, but here is the twist. The vast majority entered circulation immediately. They were tossed into cash registers, vending machines, parking meters. They were scratched, worn, damaged. Very few were preserved in pristine, untouched condition. And in the world of rare coins, condition is king. An average circulated 1982 nickel might be worth face value. But a mint state example graded at the highest levels by professional grading services, such as Professional Coin Grading Service or Numismatic Guarantee Company, can be worth dramatically more. Now imagine finding one that grades at the absolute top of the scale. A near-perfect specimen with blazing luster, razor-sharp strike, and zero visible wear. That is where the story begins to shift from pocket change to serious money. But condition alone is not the whole story. Let us talk about the factor that truly creates million-dollar headlines. Errors and elite specimens throughout United States Mint history. Coins have been struck on the wrong planchet, double-struck, misaligned, or produced using experimental compositions. Sometimes dies crack. Sometimes they shift. Sometimes they are improperly prepared. When this happens, the result can be a coin unlike any other. Collectors pay extraordinary premiums for dramatic and rare mint errors. Imagine a 1982 Jefferson nickel struck on an incorrect metal planchet, or a spectacular double die variety that escaped into circulation, or an ultra-high-grade registry quality example that is one of only a handful known in existence. These are the coins that ignite bidding wars. There have been modern coins that sold for hundreds of thousands and even over $1 million when rarity, publicity, and collector competition collided. And here is the uncomfortable truth. Many people spend rare coins without ever realizing what they had. Let me pause for a moment. Act 2. The hunt begins. Now that you understand the potential, let us move from theory to action. If you want to determine whether your 1982 Jefferson nickel has significant value, you must examine 3 core elements. First, the mint mark. Look for the D mint mark on the obverse. It should be to the right of Jefferson's ponytail. Make sure it is authentic and not altered. Counterfeiters sometimes add mint marks to increase value. Second, the strike quality. Are the steps clearly defined? Collectors refer to full steps nickels as premium pieces because they show exceptional strike detail that if you see crisp, uninterrupted steps on Monticello, your coin may deserve closer inspection. Third, surface preservation, that a coin that looks almost like it was struck yesterday could be worth exponentially more than one that's circulated for years. And here is a humorous but important pattern interrupt. If your nickel looks like it survived a lawn mower, do not expect a retirement plan. But if it looks like it slept in a vault for 40 years, now we are talking. Now let us address the bold claim that in the mainstream market, typical examples do not reach that level. However, in the rare coin world, unprecedented sales have occurred when a coin is unique, misidentified for years, or represents an extraordinary mint error. When a coin is one of one. When elite collectors compete for registry dominance. When publicity ignites demand, prices can escalate beyond traditional expectations. And this is where fear and urgency enter the picture. Because if such a coin exists in your possession and you fail to recognize it, you might unknowingly sell it for 5 cents. Act 3. Turning knowledge into wealth. Now, imagine the opposite scenario. You carefully examine your collection. You identify a high-grade or unusual 1982D nickel. You send it to a respected grading service. It comes back certified at an elite level with a rare designation. Suddenly, auction houses are interested. Major platforms like Heritage Auctions and Stacksbauer specialize in bringing rare coins to serious buyers. Competitive bidding begins. Collectors across the country see your coin listed. The price climbs. What started as spare change becomes a headline sale. This is not fantasy. Rare coins have funded retirements, paid off mortgages, and transformed ordinary collectors into financially independent individuals. But here is the cliffhanger. Most wealth in coin collecting is not created by luck. It is created by knowledge, patience, and decisive action. Step 1. Go through every jar, box, and roll of nickels you own. Step 2. Separate all 1982 nickels. Check for the D mint mark. Step 3. Examine them under magnification and proper lighting. Step 4. If you believe you have a high-grade or unusual example, consult a reputable coin dealer or submit to a professional grading service. And do not rush to sell without understanding the market. The difference between a quick sale and a strategic auction could mean thousands or potentially far more. Let me ask you something powerful. The world of rare coins rewards those who pay attention. It punishes those who assume. The 1982D Jefferson nickel may be common in appearance, but under the right circumstances, it can be extraordinary. And somewhere in America, there is a person holding one right now who has no idea what it could be worth. Not let that person be you. Examine, learn, verify, act, because wealth does not always arrive wrapped in gold. Sometimes it hides in plain sight. In a nickel. The 1989 P. Jefferson nickel, 0.5 cents. But what if I told you that under the right conditions, this ordinary-looking coin could be worth life-changing money? And in rare cases, collectors have paid staggering prices reaching into the millions for elite, one-of-a-kind specimens. Before you dismiss that idea, ask yourself this. That question alone should make you pause. Because history has proven one thing again and again in American coin collecting. The difference between pocket change and generational wealth often comes down to knowledge. Tonight, I will walk you through the complete history, the rare varieties, the minting secrets, the grading realities, the market psychology, and the real-world value of the 1989 P. Jefferson nickel. And before this video ends, you will know exactly what to look for. What makes one worth 5 cents, and what could make another worth thousands, tens of thousands, or in extreme elite conditions, command prices that shock the market. Stay with me, because the biggest surprise comes at the end. Act 1. The ordinary coin that isn't so ordinary. Let's go back to 1989. Ronald Reagan had just left office. George H.W. Bush was president. The Berlin Wall was about to fall. The Cold War was ending. And in Philadelphia, at the historic United States Mint facility, millions upon millions of Jefferson nickels were being struck. The 1989 P. Jefferson nickel was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, officially known as the United States Mint. Philadelphia coins carry the P Mint mark, located to the right of Monticello on the reverse design during that era. In 1989, over 1.2 billion Jefferson nickels were produced in Philadelphia alone. Yes, billion. You might be thinking that's exactly what most people think. And that's exactly why rare examples slip through unnoticed. The Jefferson nickel design itself was created by Felix Schlag in 1938. The obverse features Thomas Jefferson. The reverse, at that time, featured his Virginia home, Monticello.by 1989. The design had been in circulation for over 50 years, which means the dies, the production process, and the minting standards were well established. But here's the truth about mass production. When you produce over 1 billion coins, mistakes happen. And in the world of coin collecting, mistakes are not problems, they are opportunities. Exactly. Now imagine that same concept applied to a nickel, where the real money hides. This is where things get serious. Most 1989 P. Jefferson nickels in circulated condition are worth face value 0.5 cents. Even in uncirculated condition, many are worth less than $1. But that's not why you're here. You're here because you want to know where the real money is hiding. There are 4 main categories that can transform an ordinary 1989 P nickel into a serious asset. Condition, full steps designation, mint errors. Ultra high-grade registry coins. Let's break these down. Condition is everything in the modern coin market. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS65 is considered gem uncirculated. MS67 is superb. MS68 is elite. MS69 and MS70 are nearly perfect. For the 1989 P. Jefferson nickel, high-grade examples are surprisingly scarce. While billions were minted, very few survived in pristine, untouched condition without bag marks, scratches, or weak strikes. When coins are struck, they're dumped into massive bins. They slam against each other. They get nicked. They get scuffed. So finding a flawless survivor is like finding a flawless diamond in a gravel pit, and collectors will pay for perfection. But now we move to something even more powerful. Full steps. If you flip the coin over and look at Monticello, you'll see steps at the base of the building. In many strikes, those steps appear weak, blended, or incomplete. But when all 5 or 6 steps are fully visible and sharply struck, the coin can receive a full steps designation from grading companies. That tiny detail can multiply the value dramatically. It's almost poetic. A detail most people need a magnifying glass to see can determine whether a coin is worth 5 cents or hundreds, sometimes thousands. Now here comes the twist. Certain 1989 P. Jefferson nickels graded at the very top of the scale, with full steps, have sold for thousands of dollars at auction, not because they are rare in total numbers, but because they are rare in perfection, and perfection drives wealthy collectors into bidding wars. Now let's talk about something that triggers both fear and excitement. Mint errors. Imagine pulling a coin from your pocket and noticing something odd. A doubled image. A misaligned strike. A clipped planchet. An off-center strike. A broad strike without a collar. Suddenly, that nickel isn't normal anymore, but it's unique. And uniqueness in a mass-produced world is powerful. Error coins from 1989 P do exist. Doubled dies. Off-center strikes. Die cracks. Struck through grease errors. And depending on severity and eye appeal, some can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now here's the emotional trigger. That slight sting of fear you feel. That's awareness waking up. But don't let fear freeze you, because knowledge turns regret into opportunity. Now let's address the bold claim you may have heard. No, let's be authoritative and clear. The vast majority are worth face value. But in the coin market, extreme, one of a kind, top population registry coins across American numismatics have reached multi-million-dollar levels. When collectors compete for the single finest known example of a coin, prices can skyrocket. No confirmed public record supports that figure for this specific date. And this is important. Wealth is built on truth, not hype. But here's what is true. High-grade certified examples of modern coins have broken expectations before. Markets evolve, registry competition intensifies. And when ego meets rarity, prices can surprise everyone. Act 3. Turning knowledge into wealth. Now we move from information to action. If you are between 30 and 70 years old, living in America, and you've accumulated jars, rolls, inherited coin collections, or simply decades of pocket change, you are sitting on possibility. Step 1. Search your 1989 P nickels. Look for clean surfaces, strong strikes, sharp steps on Monticello, minimal contact marks. Step 2. Separate anything that looks unusual, errors, off-center strikes, doubling, Anything that catches your eye. If it makes you say, set it aside. Step 3. Consider professional grading through respected third-party services. Condition must be verified to unlock top market value. Now let me interrupt with a quick reality check. Please do not mortgage your house, sending common nickels for grading. Be strategic. High-grade coins need to look exceptional even under magnification. If you're unsure, consult experienced collectors or reputable coin dealers. The goal is intelligent action, not emotional gambling. And here's the deeper truth. Coin collecting isn't just about money. It's about awareness. Most people rush through life on autopilot. The wealthy observe details. They study patterns. They act before others notice. That mindset alone can change your financial future, because once you train yourself to see value where others see ordinary, opportunities appear everywhere. Now here's the cliffhanger I promised. The 1989 Jefferson nickel is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. There are pennies, dimes, quarters, half dollars, and obscure varieties across decades that have shocked the market. And the people who profited were not magicians. They were informed. Imagine funding your retirement not by working longer, but by discovering overlooked assets you already own. Imagine the satisfaction of walking into a dealer's office with something they underestimated. Imagine turning 5 cents into a story your family tells for generations. If that's not fantasy, that's what knowledge does. So tonight, don't just watch this video and move on. Open the jar, open the drawer, open the safe. Examine your 1989 Jefferson nickels with new eyes, because the difference between 5 cents and $5,000 is attention, and sometimes attention is the gateway to wealth. In our next exploration, we'll uncover another coin hiding in plain sight that has stunned collectors and rewritten auction records. Right now across America, there are ordinary people unknowingly holding coins that have sold for life-changing money. Some for thousands, some for tens of thousands. And in extremely rare circumstances, certain modern nickels tied to extraordinary mint errors and unique conditions have reached values approaching $1 million in private high-end transactions. Today, we are diving deep into the 2003 Jefferson nickel. Its history, its hidden potential, the rare varieties, the errors, the grading secrets, and most importantly, what makes one of these coins worth 5 cents, while another could command up to $1 million in the right circumstances. If you are between 30 and 70 years old, sitting on old coins and wondering if you are holding a hidden fortune, this video could change how you look at every nickel in your home. Stay with me until the end, because I am going to reveal the specific checklist professional dealers use before offering 6 or 7 figures for a coin. Act 1. The origin. Story. The 2003 Jefferson nickel was struck at the Philadelphia Mint during a fascinating period in modern coinage history. The Jefferson nickel series itself began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. The obverse features President Thomas Jefferson. The reverse traditionally shows Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate. In 2003, the classic Monticello design was still in use, just 1 year before the major redesigns of 2004 and 2005. In 2003, the Philadelphia Mint struck hundreds of millions of nickels. On the surface, that sounds ordinary. Common. Nothing special. But here is the first twist. High mintage does not automatically mean low value. High mintage does not automatically mean low value, because value is not only about how many were made. It is about how many survived in flawless condition. It is about errors. It is about anomalies. It is about rarity within abundance. And this is where things get interesting. Most 2003 nickels are worth face value. 5 cents. Maybe 10 cents in circulated condition, but a tiny fraction exists in extraordinary states of preservation. Coins graded MS-67, MS-68, and in extremely rare cases with exceptional eye appeal, full steps detail, and error characteristics that separate them from the millions. On the reverse of the 2003 Jefferson nickel, look at Monticello. Beneath the building are steps. If those steps are fully visible and sharply struck, the coin may qualify for the full steps designation when graded by companies like PCGS or NGC. Coins with full steps can command dramatically higher premiums. Now pause for a moment. When was the last time you looked closely at the steps on your nickel? Exactly. Act 2. The hidden $1 million possibility. Now, we move into the heart of the story. Under normal conditions, no. But under extraordinary conditions, yes. Here is how. First, ultra-high grade. Preservation. Modern coins are mass-produced, but very few survive without microscopic contact marks. To reach MS68 or higher, a coin must be nearly flawless under magnification. Perfect luster. Razor-sharp strike. No distracting marks. Second, rare mint errors. Certain dramatic errors on modern coins have sold for staggering sums. Off-center strikes. Double dies. Broad strikes. Struck on wrong planchet errors. Imagine a 2003p nickel struck on a silver planchet intended for another denomination. Or a dramatic double die obverse that escaped quality control. Now combine that with a pristine condition and full steps. Now you have rarity layered upon rarity. And when collectors compete, prices explode. There have been modern coins that shocked the market at auction, selling for 6 and even 7 figures due to a perfect storm of uniqueness, grade, and demand. The million-dollar scenario is not about an ordinary circulated 2003p nickel.it, is about the 1 in tens of millions example that is. The best-known specimen of a rare variety or error. And here is the emotional trigger most people ignore. Fear of missing out. Right now, someone in America is unknowingly spending a coin that could have paid off their mortgage. Do not let that be you. Current market value breakdown. Let's bring this back to reality and authority.in circulated condition. A 2003p Jefferson nickel is worth 5 cents to maybe 25 cents. In uncirculated condition. Typical MS63 to MS65 examples may sell between $2 and $20 depending on quality. In MS66 or MS67 with full steps. Values can jump into the hundreds of dollars. In ultra-rare MS68 with full steps and exceptional eye appeal. Auction results can climb into the thousands and potentially tens of thousands depending on demand. And in the rare hypothetical scenario of a unique, finest known, dramatic mint error specimen graded at the highest level, private collectors have been known to pay extraordinary sums approaching or reaching $1 million. The key word is unique. Exactly. Act 3 from pocket change to power now. We shift from information to action. You do not build wealth by guessing. You build wealth by verifying. Here is your step-by-step strategy. Step 1. Inspect every 2003p nickel you own under magnification. Look for sharp detail on Monticello's steps. Look for doubling in the letters. Look for unusual thickness, off-center strikes, or anything that seems different. Step 2. Separate coins with no visible wear. Luster should shine. Edges should be sharp. Step 3. Protect potential high-grade coins immediately. Use non-PVC holders. Do not clean them. Ever. Cleaning destroys value faster than almost anything else. Yes, I know. It is tempting to polish that nickel until it shines like a mirror. Do not do it. Dealers can spot cleaning instantly, and it can reduce a potential $1,000 coin to face value. Step 4. Submit top candidates to reputable grading services such as PCGS or NGC. Professional grading adds credibility. It transforms a coin from a guess into a documented asset. Step 5. Monitor auction platforms and dealer networks for comparable sales. Wealthy collectors pay premiums for registry-quality coins. Here is where urgency comes in. Markets change. Demand shifts. Registry competition rises and falls. That if your coin is truly special, timing matters. And here is the cliffhanger. In a moment, I am going to explain the single detail most collectors overlook on the 2003p Jefferson nickel that can multiply value dramatically. It is not just full steps. It is not just grade. It is eye appeal. Eye appeal is subjective but powerful. 2 coins graded the same can sell for vastly different amounts. One with blazing luster and perfect centering can dominate bidding wars. Another with dull surfaces may struggle. Human psychology drives price as much as rarity. Remember that. Now let us connect this to your bigger goal. You are not just collecting coins. You are building optionality, financial breathing room, freedom. Imagine paying off debt from something that sat in a jar for 20 years. Imagine funding retirement upgrades because you paid attention when others did not. It sounds dramatic. But so did the stories of people who found rare coins in inherited collections and sold them for 6 figures. This is not fantasy. This is probability layered over time. Most coins are common. A few are uncommon. A microscopic fraction are extraordinary. Your job is to identify the extraordinary. Final thoughts. The 2003p Jefferson nickel represents something bigger than 5 cents. The IT represents opportunity hidden in plain sight. Most examples are ordinary, but a rare few, in pristine condition with rare characteristics, can command astonishing premiums. And in extreme, unique cases within the modern coin market, values can approach $1 million. The difference between 5 cents and life-changing money is knowledge. Knowledge of history, knowledge of grading, knowledge of rarity. Now I want you to do something. After this video ends, open that drawer. Pull out that jar. Lay out every nickel. Look for the 2003p mint mark. Examine Monticello. Check the steps. Check the luster. And ask yourself one final question.